All right, guys, and welcome back with Extra Point with Phil Jones.
All right, guys. Welcome back indeed. That's my man Flint Dykes with that, as always, exceptional introduction for the show. Welcome in, everybody. Phil Jones with you. Mark Dykes not able to make it in with me today, but I do have my good old reliable standby. We know that Larry can answer the call, and Larry's ready to talk about anything, anytime. And it certainly does help to have a friend like that. Of course, it's great to have a friend like Larry, period. But so glad that Larry Godwin is joining me today. What's up, Larry?
Listen, man, it doesn't matter if it's a busy day on a Monday or kind of, lazy Sunday afternoon. It's always a good time to talk about high school football in the state of Georgia.
Oh, isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? Oh, I almost bit my tongue there. Obviously, we are live once again, as we have been for the last couple of months, live from the Mellow Mushroom here in Valdosta. We got folks sitting mostly back behind me here. We're back here in the corner of this beautiful, expansive restaurant here in Valdosta. If you are in Valdosta, or if you're close enough by where you can stop by and visit with me, please do so. Mellow Mushroom here on Bay Tree Road in Valdosta. Come by and get some of the great pizza, as I am enjoying as we go through the show, most of which I'll enjoy after the show. But anyway, thanks so much for joining us, and certainly big ups to our friends here at Mellow Mushroom. Also want to pass along big ups to our sponsors, Dr. Kevin Collins, the Houston Clinic, as well as Pepsi of Valdosta. And by the way, Mellow Mushroom, yes, they are a Pepsi vendor. So anyway,
let me ask you a serious question. Let me ask you a serious question.
Absolutely, go ahead, Larry.
You're there in the great Mellow Mushroom there. What is your favorite kind of pizza?
So I normally get the meats pizza.
Okay, like a meat lovers type of deal.
Yeah, they call it different names. I think it's lots of pizza or something like that. But today I decided to simplify it a little bit, and I just went back to today. I'm enjoying a pepperoni with Italian sausage and mushrooms.
Would you ever consider, or do you enjoy pineapple on your pizza?
I knew that's where you were going. I knew that's what you were about to ask me, and the answer is absolutely yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, there's buddies of mine around here that make fun of me profusely because I love pineapple on pizza.
Yeah, I think pineapple works. Actually, it's a pretty nice compliment, to pizza. So I'm with you on that one, Larry. And Larry, that's interesting that you asked that question because I want to segue, since we're talking food, into one of the things that we do top 10s all the time. That's all. We've been doing top 10s forever. We're doing a lot of top 10s now. And one of the top 10s that we are doing is top 10 tailgate, like the fans. Who are the top 10 tailgating fans? And I think we are going to release that pretty shortly. Also, Larry, I was asking, and of course, Listen Lounge is one of the top tailgating schools, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I didn't realize until today, Danny Redshaw informs me that service road that is runs between I-75 and Martin Stadium is actually literally named
Tailgate
officially. Yes, I did not know that.
Phil, let me describe an experience.
Yes, please do.
So you got the tailgaters with their reserve.
Open Eye Party says the pineapple does not go on pizza. I thought I would mention that.
Well,
go ahead.
So Tailgate Alley is a pretty long road. Right?
Yes.
Service road.
Yes.
And so Friday afternoons, you'll see people setting up their reserve spots. Yes, there are people that reserve those tailgating spots out there. They'll put their tents up. They'll start grilling, that kind of stuff. So game time is starting to approach, and I want to say around 7 o'clock. So at Lowndes, we typically kick off at 8 o'clock. The rest of the state, other than Valdosta, usually kicks off at 7:30. It's 8 o'clock at Lowndes. So about 7 o'clock, all the tailgaters are starting to put their utensils away, get their grills put out, that kind of stuff. And about that time, you start to hear this the ground shaking like a big Tyrannosaurus Rex that's coming down Tailgate Alley, because you can feel the vibration, you can hear the tubas starting to kick in, and all of a sudden those trumpets, all 200 trumpets strong of the Lowndes George Bridgman, which complements a total band size of 450. So 450 of these guys are starting to march from the high school down Tailgate Alley in front of the tailgaters. And when they get to about midway point, they stop and basically play a little band tune type of deal. I think it's a couple of different songs, including the Lowndes Fight song, basically a little salute, if you will, to the loyal tailgaters that are there. And then they'll eventually stop and continue their march to Martin Stadium, to their end of the Concrete Palace, before they enter the stadium and perform the pregame show. So that's all part of the tailgate pregame festivities there.
Which is why in our top tailgate schools that we did, Lowndes, I believe, was numero uno. Yeah. Coffee, a very close second. And we'll talk about that a little bit as we go. But listen, one of the most recent things that we asked for was top tailgate foods.
Yeah.
I went to Jimmy Lindsay. I went to Ronnie Saws, two of the bigger tailgaters at Lowndes High School.
Yeah.
Also interviewed my buddy Stephen Tate, who's checking in. Stephen Tate and Rodney, I believe it is, from Coffee.
Yeah.
Collins, buddy Daniels, a bunch of them over there at Coffee that tailgate. I interviewed my buddies at Buford, Luke Big Buford Nelson, who I hope is in the house tonight watching the show. Kenny Perlott, his son, is it Jaden Perlott, big hard-hitting linebacker at Buford. He's now at the University of Tennessee. Kenny is a regular on the show. Anyway, my buddy Dr. Mike McCartney, ADL Dental Associates with Cook. And anyway, I think there's about 5 or 6 schools that I talked to, top tailgating foods. And my question is, and guys, I promise we're going to move on. Okay. We're not going to sit here and talk about food forever, but is steak an appropriate tailgate food? Now think about it. Think about it for your answer. Okay. Is steak appropriate for tailgating?
Can I answer?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. So steak is always appropriate, no matter where you are. Now, is it wise to cook steak? No, because it can probably get a little expensive and kind of difficult to eat while you're standing up, right? Instead of you,
right.
Unless you do the Fred Flintstone eat it with your hands type of deal. Right? So in that regard, you're probably not going to do it. So I would choose, and probably people would steer towards finger type of things where you can just pick up and it's more appropriate to eat with your hands and get messy. Ribs might be okay. Burgers, absolutely. Chicken wings. You might throw a Boston butt with a pulled pork type of deal. You might throw a brisket, that kind of stuff. But I wouldn't normally think of steak when it comes to tailgating stuff.
There you go. And that's why I ask. And that's why, by the way, Stephen Tate, tailgate extraordinaire, says no. Now, Luke Nelson, who is checking into the show. Luke, thanks so much for checking out the show. He's Big Buford. Getting ready to christen, speaking of tailgating, getting ready to christen that brand new stadium here in a few weeks. But
yeah,
Luke Nelson had given your answer, Larry, in that steak is appropriate anytime, anywhere.
Yeah.
But I do think you're right. I think it's got to be prepared. In other words, you want to maybe do something, cut it up into pieces, maybe even eat it cold. But anyway.
Now steak tips might be better suited for tailgating.
There you go. But anyway, guys, check all that content out at ITG Next Georgia. Subscribe to our newsletter. If you're not getting our newsletter, go to ITG Next, our Facebook page. You can see the newsletter. It doesn't cost you a thing. It comes to your email inbox once a week right now, free. We'll go to 2 days a week once football season gets closer, but you guys will really like it a lot. All right, let's find out who all's in the house, Larry. Then we'll get to, we're going to be talking about some of the top opening week matchups. I just mentioned Buford getting ready to christen that brand new stadium of theirs. Man, everybody and their brothers talking about it. We're going to go up there and get the grand tour from Tony Wolf here. What we're hoping is in days. But you've got Buford going to be hosting Milton, Larry. It doesn't get any bigger than that.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be big.
That is going to be one of the big ones. But anyway, we're going to get into that. Going to talk about we just released the Class 5A preseason top 10. Who do you think is on top of that? Hint, hint. I was just talking about this school seconds ago. Also, part 2 of our top 10 stadiums. Okay. Yours truly released the first top 10 stadiums list back in February, and we got so much response from people wanting to give us their ideas of who their top stadium pick was that we had enough content, had enough selections that we went back and made a part 2, top 10, and it's out today. You guys can check it out at our Instagram, our Facebook page, so be sure to check it out. And we got some quarterback battles going on, Larry, in places that you would not suspect it. I understand there's a quarterback battle going on over in over in Brooks County.
In Brooks County?
From what I'm hearing, you remember we had Bryce Puckett who transferred in from Cairo, right? Yeah. Okay. You already had Junior Burris, right? Led Brooks to a state championship game appearance. Okay. Well, the word is that there's possibility that Burris may be moved to wide receiver and to make room for the new transfer, Bryce Puckett. Now, I don't know if that is, can anybody give me an update on that? Let me know if there's anything to that. I did see it on Facebook. Let me know if there's anything to it, guys. But point being, Larry, you've got a quarterback battle going on there. You got a quarterback battle going on at Valdosta. If any of you Valdosta fans want to chime in on that, let me know. But yeah, we got some quarterback battles going on with various teams. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to really be the year of the quarterback this year.
Do you know where there is not a quarterback battle?
That's at Lowndes High School, Larry.
At Lowndes High School.
My man, Jace Juice.
Man, did you see?
It's got a lock on that, does he not?
Did you see the post that his mom had posted about?
I did not.
About his journey to the quarterback position?
I did not. Tell us
what
about
an
it.
inspiring post that was, or is. She described a situation where he's been training football obviously for a long time from early years, but I did not know until I read her post that he played both offense and defense. When he was younger, he played obviously quarterback, but he was also a linebacker, and linebacker was actually his more comfortable position.
Really?
And so when it came time for him to specialize, because when you get to high school, you basically got to pick, right?
That's right.
So when came time for him to pick something he wanted to specialize in, his mom asked him what he wanted to do. And he said he wanted to focus on being a quarterback. And so she said, "Are you sure?" Because he was more naturally gifted, or felt more comfortable, I should say, as a linebacker. So he says, "No, I wanted to focus on quarterback." And so through this journey, she says that all the camps that he had been to, he really excelled as a linebacker, but he chose to focus on developing his craft at quarterback. And you see now where he's developed into the number 2 quarterback in the nation for the 2027 class.
Larry, this reminds me of another Lowndes quarterback.
Yeah.
Who was pretty darn good at linebacker as well.
Guy named Michael Barrett.
Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm. There you go. All right, guys, Larry, let's check out and see who all is in the house, who all is watching the show. Always love to give Give our guys some love and ladies that are watching the show. I did see, let me see here. Jim Blair says 31 days till Colquitt County Benedictine. Wow. Are you kidding me? We're going to talk about top 10 season opening games. And man, that is one of them there.
Phil,
Colquitt County Benedictine.
That's actually one of my top 10 right there that I was going to.
Gotta be, right? Yeah, gotta be for sure. All right. Jim Blair says 31 days till we got that. Robert Tallard, go Peach County Trojans and Coach Westbrook. Robert, I've got a question for you. Don't let me forget. I'm going to circle back to you here in about 5 minutes. Do not let me forget. If I get to rambling and I don't ask you this question, say, hey, Mr. Phil, be quiet. You were going to ask me something. George Childs Lamont is checking us out tonight. Of course, Brooks County Trojans. You've got his son, one of the top receivers in the United States of America. Maybe George can enlighten us a little bit on what's happening with Brooks County's quarterback situation. If you don't mind, George, who is George going to be catching the ball from this year is what everybody wants to know. George Childs Lamont, so let us know. Obadiah Farley, of course, I mentioned Obadiah earlier, said he didn't want that yucky pineapple on his pizza, Larry. Obadiah Farley, ITG, TCC, the DEA, FBI, CIA, all checking in. Obadiah, what's going on, my man? Always love to hear you making your way into the show.
You see what Obadiah said a while ago about pineapple on pizza? He said, absolutely not.
Yeah, I just mentioned that.
Oh, you did?
It's okay. Larry's had a long day, guys. Yeah, I'll let Larry, if he wants to tell you about it, he can. But I said, Larry, Obadiah's checking in. The guy that said that he didn't want any of that stinking pineapple on his pizza. But
yeah, man, I'm trying to do like 4 things at one time while I'm talking to you.
I got you. It's all good. It's all good. Listen, I asked Larry. Mark wasn't able to make it tonight, so I imposed on Larry about 3 o'clock this afternoon, and he gladly answered the bell. So, Larry, we forgive you, brother. Kelly Mitchell, good afternoon, Brooks County, checking in. Jim Blair also says no to pineapple on his pizza. We mentioned Obadiah. Oscar Miles, what's up, Oscar? You're checking out the show. Oscar Miles, big Carver Columbus fan. I mentioned Stephen Tate is checking out the show. Stephen Tate, we will always, Larry and I will always be indebted to Stephen Tate.
Yeah, man. Big Stephen Tate fan.
Stephen Tate made sure we were taken care of, not only food-wise, but over at Pierce County in a driving.
Larry, we got you back on. 1 second for Phil, guys. Sorry about that.
I didn't know I went away.
Internet issue, guys. Sorry, we are going to upgrade this Wi-Fi immediately. I promise you.
All right, so we back?
Yeah, you're back. We're waiting on Phil, guys. It's the internet. No Mushrooms internet, too. We might have to talk to them as well. But yes, we got you, Larry. The audience has you, Larry. If you want to pick up until Phil gets back, could be something on his end as well.
Well, guys, apparently right now you're kind of stuck with me because I'm told that we have an internet issue, and Phil has been bumped. Although I suspect that since he's touting the food there at the Mellow Mushroom, he's probably been bumped off the air by Papa John's or Domino's or somebody like that. A little sabotage going on.
I agree with you, Larry.
Anyway, guys, we do have a pretty exciting topics for you tonight. Top 10 stadiums across the state. Phil's already published one list. Tonight is part 2. And then I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on your opening weekend games of choice. Where are you going to be? Now, obviously, many of you are going to be at your local high school, regardless if it's a cupcake game or, a world beater, right? Which games are you looking forward to in the opening week? right? So that's one of the things that we'll be talking about tonight. So I see these guys in the background trying to get Phil back on there. Oh, do we have Phil back? I don't know. I don't know. So I'll just continue to ramble. No, we don't have Phil back yet. One of the things that we're scheduled to talk about as well. Now we're back on.
All right, there we go, Phil.
Is Phil back?
All right, so
Phil's back in the saddle, guys. Phil's back in the saddle.
Back in the yeah. Sing it, Larry.
Yeah, I'm not a singer, man.
All right, there we go. All right, so I am back. Larry, go ahead, brother. You were talking about top something.
So what we were talking about, I was kind of going over some of the couple of topics that we're going to be touching on during the show, and then I started to say that Phil, you wanted to touch on the top 10 for Class 5A, and this is ITG Nexus top 10, which kind of resembles, I would suspect, other media outlets when they roll out with their top 10 preseason stuff, because we're kind of getting close to kickoff. So I suspect those top 10s will start coming out in a couple of weeks. Phil, I'm looking at this list that you sent me. It makes perfect sense to me. Although I probably would, shuffle a couple of those teams around. But what you've got here is legit. It's a legit top 10. So you want to go ahead and cover that, or wait?
Yeah. Why don't we do that, Larry?
Okay.
And guys, y'all chime in with us. Let us know what you think. And again, you guys can give us your thoughts. So we're going to go from 10 to 1. And this is our preseason, the latest in our top 10. We're doing top 10 classifications, or for every classification, rather. And this is our preseason top 10. Class 5A. Coming in at number 10 is Hughes, Larry. They played in the state championship game last year. Came up a little bit short. Milton.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that I was going to push back on a little bit, mainly because, it's kind of hard to follow up with the last several seasons they've had. But the number one factor to me is they lose their head coach, right? And he goes down to Northside Warner Robins. So they've got to, sometimes a team might be so loaded with talent that the next coach that jumps in, it could be maybe they have some type of continuity play where they may promote the offense coordinator. But anything short of that, if it's a new guy coming in, I seriously doubt that they're going to repeat. And I just don't see them being a top 10 team in Class 5A, mainly because of, a lot of disruption in that program with the exit of their head coach.
Larry, well said. And I agree with you. I put them in the top 10, Larry, because mainly as a respect. I think if you make it to the top 10, if you make it to the state title game,
sure,
you sort of have earned the honor of being a top 10 team for the following year. But they just barely made it. So they come in at number 10. All right, coming in at number 9 is the Brunswick Pirates, Larry. Coach Garrett Grady has done a great job since arriving there, but they tend to do well in the region. In fact, I think they've won the region every year that Coach Grady has been there, except for one. And even then, it was a number 2 seed. But Brunswick has got to get over that hump, Larry. They're in the region. They're getting the first round playoff game, and they're losing. And they're making these early exits from the playoffs. So before we give Brunswick too much credit, they've got to get over that hump of losing making these early playoff exits, I guess is what I'm saying. But until they do, Brunswick is going to stay in the bottom half of my number 10, which they're at number 9.
Phil, it's kind of hard to judge what Brunswick is going to do this year, mainly because of their schedule. I don't think it's any secret that they don't play in the most competitive region around,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So outside of their very first game, at August 15th, when they're at Camden County, that'll be a pretty good test for them. So if they can beat Camden or at least keep it close, then they might be a legitimate power in Class 5A. But if they go down to Kingsland, lose pretty badly to Camden, then the rest of that schedule is not the strongest in the world. So it's kind of hard to gauge whether they belong in that top 10. But I can certainly see why you'd come up with that.
And internet has just got us making all kind of crazy. All right, so I'm with you on that, Larry. Brunswick. So Hughes, Brunswick. Now, I'm really interested to hear your opinion, Larry, on number 8 coming in, as well as our. By the way, I wanted to mention Evan Reese agreed with you. Says the problem with Brunswick is that they don't play a hard schedule. Larry, so pretty much just what you were saying.
Yeah, Phil, are you getting a lot of feedback?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure that Clint knew that he could be working on that. What was your question?
It's not bothering me as long as it's make sure our feed is going out to our followers. Can you guys hear us and see us okay? I want to make sure we're okay. All right, so coming in at Hughes number 10, Brunswick number 9. We've got Houston County coming in at number 8. Man, I tell you, Larry, and again, I was not really sure of this pick, even at number 8.
Yeah.
Man, they lose a lot, Larry, including everything quarterback A.J. Hill.
They do. Houston County is just one of those types of schools that, they're kind of often overlooked just because of the county that they're in. For the longest time, Northside Warner Robins was a power there. Before them, Warner Robins was the school to go to and play for. And then it swung back around to Warner Robins again. And then of late, Perry High School is the school that has basically taken the reins there in Houston County, right, as the premier football school. But every once in a while, Houston County comes out of the blue. We saw that several years ago when Jake Fromm was lighting up the air when he was playing for the Bears there. And then just recently, you saw quarterback A.J. Hill. So it just seems like Houston County goes as their quarterback goes. And because A.J. Hill exits, it's kind of hard to see what they do. So I understand why you'd place them there because they did well last year. Again, very difficult to gauge what they're going to have coming back.
So the last time I spoke with Jeremy Edwards, the head coach at Houston County, look, I'll be honest with you, a lot of these teams now, especially if you are in competition for a state title, which I'd say fair. Houston County had gotten to that point with A.J. Hill. They were making a run at a quarterfinal or maybe even a semifinal run. But you definitely got to have a really solid quarterback. And what I've been waiting on at Houston County, and look, this is not pulling any shade on the younger men coming up from middle school, but that's all they really have right now. I think they had a couple of guys that are vying for the starting quarterback position, but you haven't really heard a lot about them, and there's a reason for that. So I just don't know if Houston County is going to be able to, have the same success that they enjoyed under A.J. Hill. It's just fact. And what I was going to say was, you kind of start waiting for a lot of these teams when they have to replace their quarterback, Larry. You really now just kind of become used to the mindset of, okay, well, where's the new transfer coming in from?
Yeah, I mean that's really all you can do right now. Do you expect now you talk to a lot of these coaches more than I do. So when you talk to someone like a Coach Edwards, a lot of these coaches pretty much know what they have, right? I remember talking to with you on the show, talking to the Milton coach last year before the season. And you saw at the end of the season how good Milton was. But, in the preseason last year, coming up to that, we were talking about to Coach Schley, and I asked him this question. I said, Coach, in Saul was during the course of the season, those kids started to gel and mature together, and we saw the finished product there at the end. Does Houston County have that? I don't think they do at this stage. I don't think if you were to ask Coach Edwards, Coach, and other coaches what they think they have, got to get them off to the side. I don't think they would tell you they have a state contending type of team.
And I agree with that, Larry, 100%. I want to say hello to Austin, my man Austin A.B. Butler, checking in from up in the northwest corner of the state. What's up, Austin? Tell us a little good news in 5A, and what's going to happen with those Rome Wolves. And we're about to talk about those Rome Wolves. We're talking about the Class 5A top 10, my man. Definitely want to hear your take. Adam Estes talking about Tift County. Now, remember, Tift County 6A. We'll definitely be talking about 6A next week. Jim Blair, Houston region, you got to be two top teams indeed. And Evan Reese will be talking about your Roswell Hornets coming up here in just a minute. I think Class 5A has two of the hardest regions in the state in 2A, 5A, and 7-5A.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to more here in a minute. All right. Speaking of Class 2-5A, or I'm sorry, Region 2-5A, we mentioned Hughes, number 10, number 9, Houston County, number 8. Coming up are the Roswell Hornets, Larry. New head coach J.T. Thompson taking over. He's coming in from Lee County, where he was the offensive coordinator of that high octane offense at Lee County. Now, Larry, he's not going to have an Usmani Cromah at running back, but he will have Trey Smith, one of the top dual threat quarterbacks in the state of Georgia. So, he's going to run that high octane, no huddle. Let's roll with it. 60 snaps a game. And Roswell going to be a team to watch. I just don't know, though, if they're going to be almost like Houston County. Are they going to really be a bona fide challenger for the state title in Class 5A?
Well, this early in the season is very difficult to answer that question, but I will tell you that they may be on the right track. Because I'm going to tell you, Phil, last year they made it to the second round of the playoffs. The previous coach, was it Chris Pruitt, I believe?
That's right.
Now, Pruitt spelled differently. It's not related to the Pruitts down here that y'all are all accustomed to. This is spelled Prewett. So Chris Pruitt, made it to second round of the playoffs last year. Now, the 3 seasons before that, Phil, they were quarterfinalists, semifinalists, and then quarterfinalists again. So they certainly have the talent and the infrastructure in place to make a run for it or run at it. Now, it's going to be interesting to see an offense coordinator of a pretty good team down here turn into a head coach up there. So he's got the, I don't know about this year, but in the coming years, if he can do well in the first couple of seasons, you probably can guess what I'm about to say. If he can do well in the first couple of seasons, that solidifies him as a bona fide head coach. And if you can solidify yourself as a bona fide head coach and show that you can develop talent in the metro Atlanta area, then all of a sudden, transient student athletes start showing up on your doorstep. And all of a sudden, you've got the makings of a really, really good team. So that's what I'm thinking for the new head coach going up there into the Roswell Hornets.
Absolutely. And I do know that Coach Thompson took some key assistants with him. So they're going to be a really high-octane, offensive-minded, run and shoot. Let's throw it around a good bit. And why not when you got a quarterback like Trey Smith? Evan, chime in here, buddy. I mean, what are we missing? Evan Reese, of course, is Mr. Roswell Hornets fan. So let us know, man, if we're off base. But I do see Roswell Hornets kind of around, just where I've got them at number 7. Coming in at number 6, We go to Region 2-5A. I like the Coffee High Trojans of Mike Coe to come in at number 6, just outside the top 5. Remember, Coffee going to be without Ty Woodgett. Now, do you remember, Larry Godwin, what Ty Woodgett did last year?
Remind us, Phil.
Ty Woodgett in the finals set a Georgia all-time single game rushing record. Wait a minute. He just ran for another 10 yards. Ty Woodgett run for, I forgot the count. Somebody help me out. There was over 600 yards. Incredible game. But he's not back this year.
Yeah.
He ran it wild over Sequoia.
Phil,
Yeah.
you know, when you take a look at Class 5A, you brought this up a few minutes ago. The two probably toughest regions in Class 5A, Region 2-5A and 7-5A.
And let's just for clarification, let everybody know what teams are in those two regions.
Yeah, so I'm going to go through them
2-5A.
here. I'm going to go through them here, and before we go into those teams, I'm just going to make a prediction right now on July 14th, 2025, several weeks before the season even starts. The next state champion for Class 5A is either going to come out of 2-5A or 7-5A. Now let's go through those teams, and everybody will agree with me when we go through those two teams, those two regions. I mean, okay. So Region 7-5A, okay, from top to bottom.
Quickly,
you have Chattahoochee, you have Gainesville,
bing, bing, bing.
You have Johns Creek, You have Lanier, Then you have Milton.
Woo!
Then you have Roswell and then Seconder. So half of those teams, Roswell, Milton, and Gainesville, one of those three are easily at least quarterfinalist teams. Now, one of those is probably a finalist in Milton. Would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, so let's talk about Region 2-5A.
Quickly.
Okay, so I think everybody down here already knows who they are, right? So you have Lee County, you have Coffee County, Houston, Northside Warner Robins, Thomas County Central, and Veteran. So from top to bottom.
And Larry, let me interject real quick, Larry, let me interject real quick. I'm sorry, and I'll hold on just a second. For everybody that may be chuckling when Larry mentions veterans, they have assembled what could be one of the best coaching staffs. Steve Dvorsky takes over. He's bringing with him Coach Rowell from Colquitt County, who was Colquitt County's defensive coordinator. You got Ashley Anders, Larry.
Yeah.
Joining the staff. Ashley was defensive coordinator at Lowndes last year, right?
That's exactly right.
So that's just three big-time coaches going to veterans to make them a better ball team. Just wanted to interject that. But, Larry, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so, from top to bottom, let's talk about the top three teams. Let's talk about the top three teams first in that Region 2-5. You got right now it's probably a toss-up between Coffee, now Obadiah and Colmore and the Central Mafia over there in Thomas County, right? So they would probably disagree with me and say Thomas County Central is head and shoulders above everybody else. But those top three teams, Coffee, Lee County, Thomas County Central, and then you got three teams vying for the number 4 seed probably out of Houston County, Northside Warner Robins, and Veterans. Now, out of those three, it's probably a toss-up right now. Probably, I would give the nod probably to Veterans. But we'll see how the stadium shakes out. I mean, the season shakes out. So those two regions probably sport the top 6 teams in the state.
All right, guys, I need to ask. Obadiah said he could not hear me. or can I hear me clearly? So let me know if you guys can hear Phil.
Phil, I can hear you fine.
I know there may be some feedback, but if you can hear me, can you make out what I'm saying?
You got a terrible echo.
Yeah, I hear it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to continue with our top 10. So we mentioned coffee. Now we go to our top 5. Coffee at number 6.
Yeah. So you got coffee
Larry,
number 6.
To keep me from having to talk so much because the feedback is so bad, go through our top 5.
Okay.
Starting at 5.
Guys, we just ran down, starting with number 10 was Langston Hughes, followed by Brunswick, Houston County, Roswell at number 7, and we finished off with Mike Coe's Coffee Trojans at number 6. And that takes us to the number 5 team in the state, according to the ITG Next, and that is the Rome Wolves. Now, everybody knows the reputation that John Reed has. You know, he was down here a few years ago, Phil, and started to build up a Tift County Blue Devil team and was probably on the cusp of turning them into a good program and decided to go off to greener pastures up in Rome. I don't blame him, right? And so has done an amazing job at Rome, and so enters the season in 2025 as your top 5 team in the state.
One of the biggest regrets, I bet, Tift County will ever have is losing and letting John Reed go. But anyway, that ship has sailed. As we say, there's no need in crying about spilled milk. So it's done. Tift has got a good coach in there now, but John Reed has definitely done a great job. Now, my buddy Austin A.B. Butler, I asked him about Rome earlier. And let's see here what Austin said. Austin, what did you say about Rome? Well, I think he said something about Rome. See if I can find it here in a second. Anyway, so all right, so we got Rome at number 5. So now we're in the top 5, and here's where things can get very interesting, Larry.
Yeah.
So Hughes at 10, Brunswick 9, Houston County 8, Roswell Hornet 7, Coffee 6. Now we get into the top 5. Rome at number 5. Who's number 4? I tell you, I let Dean Fabrizio see my top 5, and he said, "Hey, that's okay. You got us ranked at 4. You're going to regret that."
See?
He said, "You got us ranked too low." And I want to tell you something, and I agree with him.
He knows, Phil.
There wasn't a shot at Fabrizio and Lee County. And I tried to tell him, the talent in Class 5A is just so rich. But let me tell you guys something. If you think Lee County is going to fall off the edge of the earth, for all you flat earthers, if you think Lee County is, Larry, if you think Lee County is just going to just go away, you are wrong.
Yeah.
As Fonzie said, you are rude. If you get it, you get it.
So, Phil, Fabrizio has always been a very competent coach, right? But I've heard him give coach speak before on your show where, he has a pretty, like I said before, coaches have usually a pretty good sense of what they have, right? And so when in years past, when he's on your show doing it, you can always
Hello. Can you guys still see Phil? Larry, go ahead. Yep. Larry, you are spot on with what you just said with Dean Fabrizio. Okay. Every year, as long as I have known Coach Fabrizio, like Larry just pointed out, he doesn't give you the coach speak. He tells you exactly what kind of team he's got and what's going to happen. I'll tell you guys this last year. Okay, we were up, we went to Milton with Lee County, and we were in the locker room with Coach. I was basically, with him by his side through the entire pregame. And the all week leading up to the game, Fabrizio confided in me, and he said, "Phil, we got a good team, but they're really good, Phil." So my Milton said, "I just don't know if we can do it." And Larry, what Dean Fabrizio described and what he predicted is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And Larry, he does that every year. He's not going to give you a bunch of baloney and a bunch of fluff. So, Larry, you called it.
Yeah.
That's exactly with Dean Fabrizio. He's not going to say, "Yeah, man, we've got what it takes. We're going to win it all." He's going to tell you what kind of team he's got. He's done that every year. And I'm telling you, this year, he's telling me, and he's telling anybody that'll listen, we are going to be better than everybody's giving us credit for.
Yeah. So, Phil, let me say this. Flint, if you can hear me, I think what Phil's issue is, what I see on my screen, I see one of me, but I see two of Phil. And I think because you got maybe two windows of Phil open, it's picking up his microphone twice. So that's
okay. So should I go out and try to log back in?
Try that and see. I'm not sure if that'll work or not.
Okay.
But
let me try that, guys. So keep going, Larry.
Yeah. So guys, I'm sorry. I know it's kind of untenable for when something like that happens. So we'll see. Okay. So I see one of you now. Yes. Much, much better. Okay. So we were talking about Lee County and Dean Fabrizio. He's always been a straight shooter, right? That's what it sounds like this year. Now, the other thing, and I know I'm kind of leapfrogging over to Gainesville, and I'll give you a little bit of tease. Now, the other thing is the Thomas County Central head coach is a straight shooter as well. And so it's going to be that. Mark it on your calendar this year, Phil. I cannot wait to see Lee County and Thomas County Central duke it out. That is going to be such a fun game to watch. Now, on the flip side of that, I think Mike Coe is going to feel disrespected, and I think he's going to sell that message to his team to rally around with the Coffee County Trojans this year, because everybody continues to talk about Thomas County Central and Lee County, and little old Coffee County is over here kind of pushed to the side, not talked about very much, and they kind of sneak up on you. And I think Coe is going to sell that to his players this year. Now, back to Lee County. Now, Fabrizio is probably doing the same sales job or a similar sales job to his Trojans over there, and saying something like, "Listen, the talk of the region now used to be the Lee County Trojans. We were the benchmark, the standard of which teams in South Georgia were measured." That's basically what he told his team. But Thomas County Central has supplanted everybody now. Everybody's talking about Central with their fantastic $40 million athletic complex build out. You saw their performance and outcomes on the field for the last several years in Justin Rogers. So I'm thinking that Fabrizio is selling that message to his team, that a lot of fans down here are thinking about us as yesterday's team and the Thomas County Central as today's and the future team. So, coaches love to sell that underdog type of program to their players.
Right.
And so the same thing goes for the Gainesville Red Elephants.
Yeah, hang on now. Don't get too far ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just trucking right along, man.
I'm telling you. All right, so Lee County, we were at Lee County at number 4. So anything else you want to add about Lee County?
They're going to be a tough team to beat this year.
Yeah. Really remarkable area when you think about Lee County last year went undefeated in that region. Can you believe that?
Listen, man, let me tell you something real fast.
Yeah, quickly.
Let me pull this up. Okay, so Lee County this year, Uh, they're going to be at Warner Robins to start the season.
Non-region game, right?
That's right. So if you take a look at Fabrizio's non-region schedule and the way he has set this thing up, check this out. Now,
somebody just said sound is great now. That's good news. So we're going to keep trucking.
That's right. So if you take a look at Fabrizio's schedule this year, I think it's set up really, really well. Now, he's got some cupcakes early on, but he's got some tough games too. Like to start the season on August 15th at Warner Robins is going to be pretty good. Warner Robins is not going to be a world beater, but they're going to be a quality team, right? And he goes on the road to do that. Then he follows that up at home with Hateville at home. August 29th, takes on Tiff County with a hopefully improved Blue Devil squad. Then, Phil, big showdown at home for Lee County as they host Colquitt County, right? So out of the gate, the first 5 weeks, you got Warner Robins as one of the bookends, Colquitt County as the other bookend, fourth week of the schedule. Then they kind of step things down with North Florida Educational Institute. Don't even know who that is.
Good gracious.
I think the Sisters of the Blind might have changed their name and rebranded to North Florida Educational Institute.
So what happened there, you had a team that backed out on Lee County. They had to scramble to find a game, and they were the only. Yes, so they're probably as bad as they sound. But go ahead, Larry.
My point is, it's a pretty good non-region schedule because he starts with a quality team, kind of backs it down a little bit. Fourth game of the season where the team should be starting to hit their stride, right? And he hosts Colquitt County. It's going to be a very, very tough game for them. But it sets them well up for region play because the very next week they step it back down, probably nurse some injuries. And then the following week, they're on the road at Thomas County Central to start their region play. And then they have back-to-back weeks on the road, Thomas County Central, and then over in Douglas at Coffee County. That is a tough 6-week stretch there. Actually, 7-week stretch.
All right, so let's roll. All right, so let's go ahead and roll through the remainder. So again, guys, we're going through our Class 5A top 10. So Lee County at number 4. So here's our top 3.
Yep.
And we'll go through these pretty quickly. So the Gainesville Red Elephants coming in at number 3. Now, last year was undoubtedly, Larry, and for our viewers, the most disappointing season for Coach Josh Niblett. The year before they had finished, I'm trying to remember, basically every year that he's been there, Josh Niblett, he's taken them, took him to the state championship in his first year. And then the next couple of years, they were okay. Then last year, they really regressed, right? They lost to Sequoia in the first or second round of the playoffs. A big disappointment, not what we expected from Gainesville. And I can promise you that was that has been a big motivating factor for Gainesville. I've heard it from Coach Niblett himself, and he said, we are going to make what happened, and I'm paraphrasing, but what happened last year is going to motivate us. And let me tell you, Larry, they've got what is probably maybe the best defensive player. Tyler Atkinson at Grayson may have an argument for this, but you've got Xavier Griffin, 5-star linebacker at Gainesville. I mean, everything. He is one heck of a player. And you've got on the other side Kareem Hughley, who has just announced his intentions. I'm trying to remember what he committed to. Maybe you guys can help me out with that. But anyway, you got some great pieces surrounding those two players. Gainesville, I think, is going to be loaded for bear. I like them at number 3. And I think for right now, they are my pick to win that region this year.
Phil, before Coach Niblett came along, I hate to say this about any team because it's going to come off as harsh, but it's the reality. Is it safe to say that before Coach Niblett came along that Gainesville was a mediocre team?
Yes.
Okay, so that's probably a fair statement.
It
right?
is. It is.
So Niblett comes along, and I remember when he was introduced to the team.
Yep.
There was so much excitement in that team, the fan base, the athletic student population were all gathered in that, I guess, lunchroom where they introduced Coach Niblett.
That's right.
And he
Yep.
gave kind of like a mini little motivational / pep talk, right? A charismatic coach, which Coach Niblett is, with a pedigree to back up his claims and his hype, can do wonders for a program. We've seen this repeated over and over. This template is nothing new. It's repeated over and over again. But he's got to be able to
Thank you, Daniel James.
Yeah, but he's got to be able to back it up. And Coach Niblett's been able to back it up. But at the same time, when he came on board with Gainesville, there was probably a mutual expectation from the administration and him as a coach for him to bring championships to Gainesville. And he's come close. He's come very, very close. And so last year, when they had 4 losses on the season, that had to be that had to really chap his hide, basically, right? And probably disappointed a lot of people. So I think he's going to come back very, very strong this year, probably going to be a top 5 team all year long. And so it's going to be very, very interesting to see how Gainesville plays out. But I think you have them positioned pretty well in your top 10.
Absolutely. All right. So we've come down to the nitty gritty here. Again, we're doing the Class 5A preseason top 10. Obviously, we'll have one more from yours truly that'll be coming out, I would guess, next week. And that would be the Class 6A top 10. But first things first, who do you guys think are our top 2 teams in Class 5A? Kind of hard. I guess really to figure out who's going to be 1 or 2, but it's not very hard, I would think, Larry, for everybody to understand who our final 2 teams are. So, who do you guys think between Milton and Thomas County Central I've got at number 1? And Larry, while we asked for our viewers to give us a few their thoughts, and this little informal poll I'm putting out there. We'll get the first 5 or 6 from you guys, but you want to give us your thoughts, Larry, Milton, or Thomas County Central? Now, obviously, you see the list. You know who I've got at number 1. Our viewers do not. So, what say you, Larry, without disclosing who I have at number 1?
Well, I'll say it this way, and both Dusty Rose.
By the way, Evan Reese and Tony Wynn, I'm sorry, Larry. But, yeah, you guys have got it right. It is Thomas County Central and Milton. But who do you guys think we have as 1 and number 2? Go ahead, Larry.
You know, to borrow a saying, a very popular saying from Dusty Rhodes and the Nature Boy Ric Flair, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man, right? And until somebody knocks off national powerhouse Milton, it's their class, and everybody else is playing for second place. Yeah. Now, going into the season this year, I've been told that the Thomas County Central roster is just loaded from top to bottom. That athletes are coming out of the woodwork to go play for Justin Rogers over there. And so, you know, there's a lot of expectations in Central land, right? And so I would ask guys like a Cole Moore or a Obadiah Farley is anything less than a semifinal appearance against Milton, is that considered a disappointing season? Or is it semifinal or bust for Thomas County Central to be considered a good season? Now, a great season would be to win a state title. But, Phil, we just went through 1 through 10. Those are some tough teams in Class 5A for Central to run through to claim a state title. So early on favorites right now, I think you've got Milton placed well at the number 1 position.
Okay, guys. So I asked y'all to give me your thoughts. Number 1 between Milton and Thomas County Central. Number 2 between Milton, Thomas County Central. Let me look and see what you guys are saying about it. Tony
I have
Wynn.
never, Phil. Let's talk about these comments that you're about to go through. I never thought I would see where Obadiah Farley would give us coach speak.
All right, Tony Wynn says Milton #1, Thomas County Central #3. Well, Tony, that's impossible because there's only 2 spots left. Obadiah Farley says Milton 1, Hughes 2, and Thomas County Central 3. I'm assuming. No, he's just got all 3 teams listed. Let me just say this: Hughes, they're going to be lucky to be a top 10 team. They lost everybody this year.
Yeah.
They did get the transfer from over at Peachtree Ridge, the quarterback, Darnell Kelly. But, man, they lost a lot. I think they were exposed in that Tiff County spring game. And say what you will about it being a spring game. I like Coach Hines a lot. Andrico Hines, he's a great coach. He was the offensive coordinator during Hughes' state championship season 2022. But you lose a coach like Daniel Boone Williams. I just don't think he's going to be in it when it's all said and done. Could be wrong, but we'll see. Abby SP says Milton #1. Jim Blair says Milton #1. Jim Blair says Milton 1 and TCC. Tony Wynn, TCC and Milton. Okay, Evan Reese, TCC and Milton. Larry, you could really flip a coin here. Okay, I'm going to say this. Thomas County Central is absolutely loaded.
Yeah.
Did I emphasize that enough? I mean, Coach Justin Rogers has got that program rocking and rolling right now. Having said that, again, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to Milton. Like you just said, Larry. Say it again.
In order to be the man, you got to beat the man.
I love it. So, as Larry said, paraphrasing, actually quoting the Nature Boy Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes to beat, yes, Lisp fully intended. To beat the man, you got to beat the man. So I'm going to, again, out of respect and honor to the 2-time defending state champion, I'm going to have Milton at 1, Thomas County Central #2. I will say this, guys, it doesn't come with a lot of confidence. And what I mean by that is I could have easily gone with Thomas County Central and Milton, but Thomas County Central 1. But I think for now, until somebody knocks them off, I'm predicting Milton to capture their 3rd consecutive state championship, and I've got them ranked over TCC. But, guys, don't make a lot of that. I've said that all year long. This is a preseason top 10. I'm merely putting Milton as the top team because, again, they're the defending state champion until somebody knocks them off.
Phil, I think deservedly so. We're giving Milton a lot of props, I should say.
Yeah. Well, and deserved.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
Well deserved. But, in the game of football, the ball bounces strangely on occasion.
It does.
So, but here's the deal. If anybody can beat Milton this year, there are a handful of states that can beat Milton. I think Lee County has a shot at beating Milton. I think Coffee County can beat Milton. I think Rome can beat Milton. I think Gainesville can beat Milton, and certainly Thomas County Central.
Oh, okay. Sure.
If anybody can beat Milton this year, I think Central probably has the best chance to do it because of the talent they have been stockpiling the last couple of years. I think it's going to explode. Phil, I'll put it this way. I think Central is more loaded than a baked potato at Longhorn Steakhouse.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Chris Pace says year of the 3-peat. I love that. Now, Chris, I'm assuming that you're intending that for Milton. Obviously, you've got Toombs. I know we're jumping around here. Toombs, not Toombs County, but Bowden, Larry, going for a 4-peat. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I know, man. I know. Oh, listen, Phil, DeMario Jones raises an interesting topic. I think we should publicly say it. Happy birthday, Phil Jones.
Oh, thank you, Larry. I appreciate that, buddy. I tell you, I got so many well wishes from from folks over the weekend. Indeed, it was birthday number 41. So I do want to thank everybody for the happy birthday wishes, guys. It really means a lot. Appreciate that very much. Thank you, Coach Demario Jones. Going to be keeping Demario Jones. I talked about your Charlton County Indians today. By the way, shameless plug, Larry. Today kicked off our Georgia Public Broadcasting GPB, what we call the All-Stars. And again, I'm just humbled to be a part of that. I think there's 4 or 5 of us that John Nelson from GPB calls up. We have each about 7 or 8 minutes to talk about what we think is going to happen this year across the state. We'll be doing that every week.
Yeah.
It is recorded. So John and Georgia Public Broadcast GPB Sports will be making that available probably Wednesday or Thursday. I'll promote that on our Facebook page as to where you guys can watch that. But anyway, I wanted to point that out. But Larry, but go ahead. You were talking about Milton, Thomas County Central, Class 5A. I've been saying this all along, and we'll kind of get ready to wrap up here. But I think 5A may very well be the toughest classification in the state. What say you, Larry?
That's tough. I don't know if I agree with you.
Really?
Let me tell you why. It's so tough. Because in order to make that statement true, they've got to be better than Grayson. The eventual state champion has to be better than Grayson, has to be better than Beaufort, has to be better than Colquitt County, has to be better than Carrollton, North Gwinnett, and the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
So I think the more accurate measuring stick would be, would the top 5 in Class A or Class 5A beat the top 5 in Class 6A? I mean, if you took the top 5 teams out of both those classes, that would be a heck of a weekend of football if you watch those teams play.
All right, so let's break this down. So this is a good topic. Okay. So, and by the way, our Class 6A top 10 has not been released yet. So what I'm about to say is not on the record. But let's just say in Class 6A, you've got Beaufort, Grayson, right, Larry?
Yeah.
Okay. Who else?
So you got North Gwinnett.
Correct.
Colquitt County.
Okay.
And how many is that?
That's 4.
That's 4. And maybe
we'll go with 5 if you want to.
Yeah, you could throw someone like a Carrollton, although Carrollton's probably going to take a step back this year, but let's throw Carrollton in there.
Okay. All right. So, by the way, Matthew Park says top 5 in 6A, top 5 in 5A, not even close. Now, Matthew Park, what do you mean by that? All right, so let's look at this. So Beaufort, Grayson, North Gwinnett, Colquitt, Carrollton. That's just the first 5. We got Douglas County in there as well. Okay, in 5A, you've got Milton, Thomas County Central, Gainesville, Lee County, Rome, Coffee. Okay, we'll throw Hughes in there for. I got to be honest with you, Larry. I think any one of those teams could win a state title, and nobody would be surprised.
Yeah. So it would be some really, really good games, right?
And that's why I say 5A, I think, in my opinion, is the toughest classification in the state. But go ahead, Larry.
Well, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, but in order to be in order to make that statement true, which is Class 5A is the toughest, which means that they're clearly better than Class 6A.
Most competitive. We'll word it that way. Go ahead, Larry. Go ahead.
I would say that any given Friday night, any of those teams could beat any other team. So I would say they're probably equal in comparison.
Maybe so. And I'll buy that. I mean, but again, the litmus test here, Larry, and guys, help us out there. Who are we missing here? So in 6A, Beaufort, Grayson, North Gwinnett, Colquitt, Carrollton. Larry, do any of those teams stand a chance realistically at winning a state championship this year? Think about it.
Run through that list again.
It was your five. It was the five that we came up with:
Okay.
Buford,
Yeah.
Grayson, North Gwinnett, Cold Cut County, and Carrollton.
Grayson's probably going to repeat as the champion in 6A. Buford's probably a close second again. I think we're going to see a repeat. If those two teams find each other in different sides of the bracket, I think you'll see a repeat between Buford and Grayson this year. Now, the big test is going to be the first game of the season. I hate that this is the first game of the season because I think all teams need a tune-up before you play a team this tough. But Milton taking on Buford, August 14th, right?
Right.
Very difficult game. First game out of the chute right there. So that will go a long way in answering the question right there.
Yeah, guys, and look, we're splitting hairs here, I think, as far as which classification's toughest. But again, I'll go back to it. I just look at that is Murderers Row, Milton, TCC, Gainesville, Lee County, Rome, Coffee. I mean, if you want the Roswell in there.
Right.
I mean, guys, whoa. Don't forget Sequoia. Now, I don't know what Sequoia is going to do. I think they lost a lot, but look, they came out of nowhere last year. And we won't include Sequoia, okay? Just playing. But Milton, TCC, Gainesville, Lee County, Rome, Coffee, and Roswell, guys, that's a stout top seven. Buford, Grayson, North Gwinnett, Colquitt, Carrollton, and then, as Matthew Park reminded us, Collins Hill. You know, last year I was the only. By the way, we ITG Next was part of the AJC's composite statewide top 15, and yours truly were the only one to include Collins Hill in our preseason top 10.
Yeah.
And, you know, so I think Collins Hill, as long as Drew Swick is there, they're going to be back contending. I just don't know. Man, you know, and look, I love Drew Swick. I love what he's done up there at Collins Hill. You got a great quarterback in Duda. You've got maybe the two best defensive linemen in terms of a duo in Cottrell Webb and Deuce Gerald's. Man, they are beasts, let me tell you. Having said that, I just don't know if they're going to have enough weapons surrounding all those guys to contend for a state title. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Phil, going back to the comments, Obadiah Farley, he's got a question for me. He said, question for Larry, when the county reports to the stadium with the fans, get some of that tailgating food. So, what he's referring to is Thomas County Central is coming over to the Concrete Palace for the preseason fall scrimmage this year, taking on my Mighty Vikings. So it's going to be a kind of a rematch of the preseason game. They soundly beat us last year when we went over there to visit Central. So the Jackets come over here this year to Martin Stadium. So I'm looking forward. Obadiah, I hope you're there. I don't think we've ever met. Would love to shake your hand, maybe buy you a Coke, that kind of stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see what both programs have in the preseason scrimmage. Now, Phil, going back to Class 5A, I think what makes Thomas County Central, Coffee County, and Lee County so impressive in Class 5A is this. They're southern schools. But you might ask, Larry, why is that so impressive? Phil, in modern day football, especially at the higher classes, one of the things that we complain about as fans down here is the population of the Metro Atlanta teams, right? And why is that important? Because as we talked about ad nauseum on this program and others, including my show, is the transfer stuff that's going on with highly mobile student athletes nowadays. So a Metro Atlanta school, you would make the connection. It would make sense that these schools are the top of the class year in and year out in class 5A and 6A because of all the students they have access to because they're highly mobile. Now you contrast though that environment with the schools down here. Phil, you're talking about Douglas, you're talking about Lee County, you're talking about Thomasville, which is not known for a heavily populated metro urban type of environment that has access to millions of student athletes, right? Like you do with the metro. So for those three teams in particular to compete year in and year out, like they have in the last probably 5 or 6 years, man, my hat's off to those three head coaches that are competing at the highest levels when the deck is so stacked against them.
All right, so let's go through some of the listener or viewer comments. We're going to take you guys up to 7 o'clock, so we got about 7 minutes left. Great show. I want to thank everybody, but we still got a few minutes left. So Austin A.B. Butler says it's going to be a great high school football season in Georgia. Indeed, it is, my man. Absolutely. Jose Padilla, what's up, Jose? My main man from Thomas County Central. Jose sent me a Thomas County Central sweatshirt, Larry, a pullover.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't dare wear it today. It's 100 degrees, but cannot wait to get some football weather. But Jose Badilla, I agree with Phil. I think there's more teams in 5A that won't surprise if they win it all. Fair statement. Matthew Park, thanks for the comment, buddy. That's why you're the man. Coach Jones, I don't know about that, buddy, but I do appreciate your kind words, brother. Chris Pace.
There ain't no way I'm answering that question from Chris Pace. Are you crazy, Chris?
Speaking of the 5A teams, which team has the best coaching staff to put them in position to win the 2025 title? Because at the end of the day, you can have all the talent you want, but at the end of the day, again, it comes down to one staff on one side of the field and the other staff on the other side of the field. Is that the one you said you wouldn't going to answer?
Yeah, he's asking which of those teams has the best staff, has the best coaching staff.
Yeah,
that is a very difficult question to answer because all three head coaches are really good head coaches, and one of the things they're known for is hiring really great staffs.
Let me go ahead and put out a little teaser for everybody. You guys know we've been doing these top 10 various questions. We've been doing that forever. Top 10 this, top 10 that. Well, I've got a new one that we're going to come out with. Uh-oh. And I want to go ahead and solicit everyone's input today. And it's just segueing off of what Larry was just talking about. And we can do top 5 if top 10 is too many. Top 5, Larry, and for our viewers, who are and I'm trying to think how to phrase this, who are the top 5 most passionate, most intense head coaches in high school football?
Okay, so not necessarily who we think are the best head coaches, but the most passionate.
That's right. That's exactly right. I've got my clear-cut number 1, and it's not Rush.
The most passionate is probably Dean Fabrizio.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, when my man is picking up flags and throwing them back at the referees, hey, come on. But go ahead, Larry.
Number 2 is probably Justin Rogers. Number 3, this may surprise a lot of people when I say this. Number 3 is probably Adam Carter.
It didn't surprise me.
He is very intense on that sideline.
Why
very
intense. That would surprise anybody. I thought you were going to put him at number 2.
A lot of our audience may not have seen him on a sideline, right?
Listen, my man Flint, who does a great job for us, Flint Dykes, he's the producer of this show. And Flint is responsible for a lot of our content we've got on Instagram and really everywhere. Flint does a lot of our graphics. Flint has got a great, I guess you call it a reel, where Adam Carter is, and he's just calling in plays.
Yeah.
But Adam Carter is so intense, you got a coach having to hold him back. Got him by the belt loop. You know what I'm talking about, Larry?
He's got himself his own get-back coach. Yep.
He does. There you go. Hey, Larry, if you've got a get-back coach, you've got to be on the list, right?
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yes. Absolutely.
Who are we
So
not thinking of, guys? I think John Reed might make the list.
John Reed, Tucker Pruitt certainly I think would make that list.
Really?
I think so. Now, what do you think about Phil? What do you think about Coach Williams up there? You know, the former Langston Hughes head coach. You think he belongs in the top 5 as far as one of the most passionate coaches?
Okay, so I would put him maybe in a different category. I think Coach Boone Williams, that's who you're talking about, right, Larry?
Yeah.
I think Daniel Boone Williams is flat out one of the top 5 coaches in the state of Georgia, period.
Really?
Oh, my gosh.
That's a big statement, man. There's a lot of good head coaches in the state.
I agree. I am just so impressed with him. You know, I don't know if you guys remember, but Hughes was not. I mean, they were good, but Daniel Boone Williams took them to a whole different level. Okay, Larry, you with me?
I'm with you, man.
Yeah. So I think the fact, guys, that they made it to the state championship game last year, that was huge, guys. Remember, no Prentice Air Nolan, right?
That's right.
I'm telling you, I just think when I heard, Larry, that Northside Winter Robins, and man, some of you guys are going to get me for that one. It's not supposed to be Northside Winter Robins, from what I've been told, Larry. It's just Northside.
They don't even want to have Warner Robins in their name.
They don't. It's just incredible. But anyway, where they belong, which is at the top of the food chain, comes to Middle Georgia high school football.
At Northside.
All right, guys, 7 o'clock. I'm going to give you the final word. Larry, what you got? Final word? What you got?
Phil, you know, you can tell that everybody's just chomping at the bit when it comes to football season kicking off. You know,
real quick, like Carl Anthony Smith, real quick, Larry, I'm going to give you the rest of your chance to make your comment. Okay. I want to answer this before we get out of here. Carl Anthony Smith says, is Lee County going to be good this year because they lost a lot? Yes, they will, Carl. Go back and watch the show, Carl. If you missed it, this show, we archive it. And Larry and I have been talking a lot about why we think Lee County is going to be really good again this year. But go ahead, Larry. Sorry.
Yeah. So you know, everybody's chomping at the bit. To us, the hardcore high school football fans down here, we all recognize as the week after the July 4th week is basically the start of football season, right? That's when everything culminates with all the summer workouts. Now you're in the home stretch preparing to hit fall camp. And so you're only about a month away from fall camp. No, actually just a few weeks away from everybody starting fall camp. So we're chomping at the bit. So we appreciate all you guys, you know, sticking with us all summer long with these shows that Phil does. We thank Phil for being so loyal and dedicated to high school football. So anyway, I'm going to leave it with this. My final thought is this. No matter who your rival is, no matter how good or bad your team may or may not be there this year, go out and go ahead and get ready to support these guys, right? If you haven't joined the touchdown clubs yet, go ahead and join them, because every team needs funds this time of year, if at no other time. So guys, thank you so much for allowing me on your show tonight, Phil. It's been a blast. I hope I've done it justice, because I'm dog tired and my voice is just about out. So thank you so much for letting me join you.
You're welcome. Matthew Park, I hope y'all do this more often. This is great. Thanks for all you do. It's obvious you guys do your research. Great for high school football. Hey, Matthew, You must be new, buddy. We do this every Monday night. We've been doing it for, a long time. Yeah. Larry is a regular co-host with me, and I'm glad to have him. So, Matthew, yes, we will do. We do it every Monday night, brother. I hope that you will be a repeat viewer here on the show. Larry, thanks so much for joining me, brother.
Anytime, guys. Anytime.
All right, guys. I want to thank our buddy Flint Dykes, who made the show possible. He always does. I want to thank all of you guys for checking out the show. Come back with us on Monday. Remember, in the interim, though, follow us on Facebook, all of our social media platforms. Remember to like and share. And, guys, follow yours truly on my X platform, Twitter. Really trying to beat that up a little bit. So, as well as our ITG Next platforms as well. So,